Hello everyone, welcome back. Last time we got our Django project running with a simple homepage. Today we are giving it a professional layout. We'll bring Materialize CSS from CDN. It's a website for bootstrapping and instant styling. And keep a tiny local style sheet for our tweaks and recognize our template so future page can reuse the same layout. So, I'm going to tell you our goals for today. First, we want to replace our page structure with a reusable layout. Then we add a materialized CSS via CDN for fast and responsive style, and keep our own style CSS for small overrides, and make the nav look complete without breaking URLs. So, I'm going to make our layout match the design I want. So I will put it in our template and then we'll see. First, I want to add the static to this HTML. Let's close the terminal here. So I'm going to say load static here because I want to make the page like is a static and use the CSS from the external source. And then, uh, as as I said before, this lets me use the static tag to link my local CSS safely. So basic head tags, it's like it doesn't give me that power to do that. So I add the static tags for here. And yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add also the English language meta here. So I say meta mm, UA compatible. And then content equals to IE edge. And then I close the tag. So, as you remember, we had this style sheet here. Okay, but let me bring the. Hmm, okay, so I'm going to add another link here straight after this. So I say link and rel equals to style sheet and I'm going to bring the href from the Materialize CDN website. Yeah, that's the link that I use for the CDN website. So it connects to that website, so we can use the style sheet from there. And then we have our title here, so let's change the title. After the style sheet here, I don't need this load static because we added on the top of the page. Okay, so now we have also our title. Again, I don't need this block title because it's static. And I just write finishes here. So now we are okay with our uh, style. And also, yeah. So, and now for the header, I'm going to add a nav bar here. So we do a little bit of change here. So in the header, I'm going to add a class navbar fixed. I'm going to have a navbar. And inside the navbar, I'm going to make a div class. And close the div. So, and inside, I'm going to have a UL. And then an L. And here I'm going to say another link here, href equals to class left brand logo. two space image collector, and we close the tab. All right. So now we have our list here, and then after this, I'm going to add another UL here with a few lists. So at the moment, I'm going to disable those lists because we haven't built the pages yet. So I don't want any errors. But later, I'm going to make them static. Uh, just these menu items are a placeholder for now. They are visually complete, but disabled for now, so nothing breaks. So I don't want any breaking when I run the server. But in the next parts, we'll wire them up to real Django URLs and templates, and everything will be fun. All right. So I'm going to add another list here. Class just disable. Okay, for now. And then href. Let's say just coming soon. Okay. That's gonna be our about page. Then I close the A tag here and then close the LI tag. All right. So I need the same thing here. One, two, three, four, five. So one is our added toy. Added toy. Then view all, and then pinches, and add a pinch. So this is our crowd system, like create, read, delete, and update. Okay, so as I said, those are placeholder just for now, but later we are going to complete them and add the pages and static URLs for them. Okay, so at the moment, I don't need these ones anymore. And then, and then don't want, let me just complete our main here, class container flow and style equals to margin left 8 3 double. Okay, and then we need these two here, main, and let's just remove this. We don't want them anymore. Okay, so now I did some amendments to have a better view and better UI for our application. So uh, I'm going to um, delete the home page because we don't want them this page anymore, and change the base.html name to home. So I'm just going to delete this one and rename this one to home. Okay. And also for the CSS file, you remember we had some CSS coding here in the previous video, but now because we use the external one, so I don't want them anymore, but we keep it here. And I'm going to add just simple CSS for now. So I'm going to share the CSS code in the description, don't worry. Okay, so now it's the time to run the server and see what we have until now. So we did some amendments. We did the external stylish here from CDN, and I'm going to show you the CDN. And if you want to use it for your future projects, you can do that. So there is another thing we need to add from CDN website. Let's show you the CDN website. This is the CDN. It's like Bootstrap, so you can do bootstrapping your applications. And there is a script also for the JavaScript for the web page, and I can add to my um, codes here exactly after the style sheet link. So I'm going to add this one as well, and now it's the time to run the server. So let's open up the terminal and write python 3 manage.py run server. Okay, no issue, that's fine. Here you go. So now we have our structure here. This is the home page with all those styles come from CDN, this website that I showed you, and we have the home page here. We have about page, add toy, view all finches, and add a finch. So those ones just placeholder, as I said at the moment, and later on, I mean exactly just right now, I'm going to uh, make them static. Let's add some pages now. Okay, so as you remember, we had those pages here, but we disabled. We are going to add them one by one. Let's start from the simplest one, which is about page. So I go to the template main app, and I have a new file, which is about.html, and it's an extended file page from home page. So I say extends home, but we need to add the main app in the beginning because By default, Django goes to see the template, whatever it's inside the template, but we have another folder inside template, which is main app. So we need to add the main app here. And then we need a blog content here. Everything goes inside this block. We just have something simple like h1 tag and then a p tag. Um, I'm going to add to copy and paste something here. You can write whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so our about page is ready, but it's not rendered yet. So we need to go to the views.py to to make the function for that to get the request. So I say function about request return render, and then we have request again main app about.html. So we made our request function here, and then we need to confirm our URL. So we need to go to urls.py again, path, and we have about. We get it from views.about name equals to about. Save it. Also views, we need to save them. uh this path actually calls the about view. It calls the about view here in the URL. It calls the about view, and I just name it about, so because it's the name of the page. And now we need to go to the home page and change this line. So we don't need the class disabled anymore. We don't want the title anymore. Just here, I'm going to hard code it about. It's just a route to our URL. It works because Django typically redirects about this about to about when append the slash is true. So let's open up the terminal and we say Python 3 manage.py run serve. Okay. So we have our app here. Everything is fine. We just added about page. So I click on about. As you can see, we have our about page and everything is fine. Now we want to make the other pages. However, Before I start making other pages, you remember we had those pages here, added toy, finches, and stuff. But in this part, we are going to connect our Django project to PostgreSQL because before we add the pages, we need the database and we need to add our finches inside the database by color, by size, by whatever. So now we install the Postgres driver, create database and database users, and also point the Django to that. And then we can define the Finch model by, as I said, by name, color, and size. Then we run the migration to connect the Django project to our database. So by default, Django uses the SQLite database, this one, but I don't recommend it. It's not. Uh, it's a very weak database. So a professional one is a PostgreSQL, and it's very useful for your future uh, projects as well. So if you're on Windows, probably you need to open your PowerShell as an administrator, so to run the database to Postgres there. But if you're on Mac, you can run it through your VS Code terminal as well. Uh, First, let's make sure that we are in a right directory. So we need to be in a directory that manage.py exists. So we are in a right directory at the moment. And now I'm going to write PSQL uh, hyphen D Postgres. So now we are connected to our PostgreSQL. If you don't see this, you need to install Postgres. So it's not our business at the moment. I just pause from this and we want to create our database. So first of all, we need to create a dedicated user and database. So we write create, all is the capital, uh, Finch user, login password, and then just Finch pass. If you work on a real projects, you need to give like the strong password. Semicolon. Okay, we got the syntax error here. Finch user. Oh, sorry. We need to write. Let me just bring it. We need to write create role. Create role, Finch user, login password, Finch pass. Okay, so the role is created. Then I want to create a database. So I say create database Finch collector DB, and the owner is Finch user. So the Finch user is our main user here. It's the owner. And now also we created the owner and set the Finch user as the owner. So uh, the migration now can create the tables. All right. Now I need to install Postgres in the virtual environment, our environment. So I need to install the modern PostgreSQL adapter so Django can talk to Postgres. If this one fails, then you cannot work with PostgreSQL. So now I quit the Postgres backslash q and write pipe install binary. Okay, so now we need to open our settings, Finch collector settings, and update our database. So in settings.py, in our Finch collector, we need to find the database dictionary here. So we have an engine, so which is SQLite 3, but we need to change this one to PostgreSQL, and then the name is the Finch collector. So we have Finch collector DB. That's the name. And then we add another key, which is our user. The value is our Finch user. And then our password is Finch pass. And then host is what was our host? Let me just quickly. I know, but we just want to server. Okay, we can just change this one. Let's say 0, 0, 1. And then we have a port, which is by default 5432 for Postgres. Okay, so now we updated our database dictionary in the settings.py. So now we need to define the Finch model. For now, we are going to add more models. We don't need settings anymore. So we go to the models.py in the main app. We have from Django DB import models. We need also from Django URL import reverse. And now we need a class Finch. So model. No, I don't want this. So our Finch has a name, which is models dot char field, and max length is 100. And then our Finch has a color. So it's again model dot char field max length, let's say 50. And then has a size, which is model dot char field max length 50. So we are creating our object through the class. Our class is Finch. Okay. So now we need to define our method. So you remember in any class in Python, you have data as a variables like here, and also you have the behavior, which are the functions, but in the class we call them methods. So um, yeah, so we have a function here, f string self dot name, and can self dot id. So Django by default gives an ID to each finch. We don't need to uh, create a variable for this under this class. And we have another one. I'm going to explain this to you. Reverse detail, and then finch ID dot ID. Okay. So we did a class finch. It's our model here. It has three variables: name, color, size. And we have a method here which returns a readable string. It shows up in admin, shell, and etc. So what does this do? Get absolute URL. This method returns the URL of a Finch detail page by using the name root. What's the name root? Detail. which is any detail page is a uh, finch ID. This matches your uh, the root of each page. Okay, so now it's our model, but it's not connected to our database yet. Now our model is ready, so it's time to make the migration. I'm going to open up the terminal and just write here Python manage.py make migrations. That's fine. And then Python manage.py migrate. Okay, so now everything is fine. As you can see, we are running the migration here and applying all the tables uh, to our database. Okay, so now it's the time to create a super user so we can sign in through Django admin and add the finches like manually. So let's write Python manage.py create super user. It's gonna ask some questions. The username, uh, I can just use my name, so I leave it blank. And email address, I can write whatever. And password, just something simple. And again, this password is too short. Okay, I need to give another password. Uh, say yes. So so now the super user is created, and it's a time to add some finches through admin Django. Let's do that. Okay, so our migration is okay, and let's start adding some finches through Django admin. So we go to the admin.py in the main app here, and we need to register our model here. So we say from model import what finch, because we have a finch. This is the only model that we created until now, and we import it. And then by default, Django guides us to register our models here. So we say admin dot site dot register finch. Okay, so now we have our model registered here. Save it, and let's run our server. Our server, I'm not sure. Manage Python manage.py run server. Okay, so Let's copy this link, open the browser in the local host. Okay, this is our app. We only have the about page until now, but if I go here and instead of about, I say admin, I'm going to have the admin access because I already signed in. It doesn't ask me for the user and password, but if they ask also, you can add the user and password, the user and password that we gave it when we create a super user. So as you can see, this is our site administration. So users and group by default, Django has it here, but in the main app, we have Finch's model. I forgot an E here, doesn't matter. Okay, so if I want to add a Finch, add, and I write like Finch one, color red, size one, save. We can add another one, Finch 2, color blue 2, Finch 3, yellow 3. Okay, so we can add as many as Finches that we want here. So you remember we said CRUD application, create, read, update, delete. So until now we can create and read, and we need update and delete. We are going to do that later, but this is only the admin access here. But we are going to add the pages and give this opportunity to the users as well to add finches and delete them and do whatever they want. All right. Now you can see here that in the terminal, you can see that we have some requests here, get and post. You see those posts from admin main app, and admin added some finches here. And we had some get requests. So again, from, for example, static admin, JS change. And this is a uh, to get the information. Okay, so we don't want the terminal at the moment. Now, since we have our Finch model, we can have an index page. Our database is connected, and I've added a few Finches in the admin. In this part, we'll display all Finches on the index page, wire the menu link, and verify the list renders. And we are not touching the detail page yet. That's the next video. All right. So this is our home page. We just have the about page. You remember we had other pages here. So now we are going to make this one to show all the finches. So which is our index page. All right. I'm going to template and add a new folder, which is finches. And then I add a new file and I call it index dot html. Okay, so uh, as we said before, it's an extended file, HTML file from home. And since we have a main app, I can add this main app here. And then we had a blog content, and everything goes inside this block. Okay, to show the finches, also I use the CDN style, so you can check the website later. So and use the classes from that website. Okay, I I have a UL here, and inside the UL, I am going to have a static for loop because I want to show all the finches. You remember for in loop in Python. For each finch inside the finches, what to show, indentation, uh, we have a tref here, and we say URL. Let me just write it again. I say URL here, tail. So we need a detail for any finch. By what? By finch ID. So you remember in the model, when we created the finch model, I told you that Django by default makes ID for each finch that we add. So by order, we have now, I think, three IDs: one, two, three. Okay. So I want to show this. And close the a tag, and then I have a div. It doesn't show. Our class is card. That's from the bootstrapping site. And then we have another div, and its class equals to card content. Okay, and inside that div, have a span class is card card title. And inside I have finch.name, and then have a paragraph here. Two paragraphs actually, and inside I have color, and color comes from Finch color. So two curly brackets, Finch dot color, and this one is the Finch size. So size is Finch dot size. Okay, this is our index page. So in the index page, we are going to show the all the finches that we added. So let's save this one, but now we need to render this file. So as you remember, we should go to the views.py and also urls.py. So let's go to the views.py first to have a request function here. So I have a function finches request, and then finch, each one equals to finch dot object dot all. Okay, we need to import finch. So from models, import finch. Okay, and then return render requests finches index.html. We need to give the name as well. So it's finches finch. Okay, so we have this function to get the request for all finches here, and we render this request. So now we need to define the path. So we go to the URLs. We go to the URLs, and we need to register our path in the URLs pattern list here. So I have path finches and views dot finches, and we name it index. Okay, it's not finished yet. It's not finished yet. As you remember, we need to change something in the home page. So don't want this class anymore. Disable class. Put that on. Oh, okay, and this href gonna be URL, which is our index. Don't want the title anymore, and the name stays finches. Okay, Let's save it. So we created the page to show all the finches by for loop method here, and don't forget to end the for loop in Django also. It's very important. And as I said, we can access to the Finch model and get the information from the database. And we changed our views.py and urls.py. So now it's the time to run the server and show what we have done until now. So let's start running the server to see what's going on here. I open up a terminal and Python 3 manage.py run server. Okay, not issues found, hopefully. Oh, we have an issue here. First of all, the issue, first of all, I need to tell you that errors are our friends. Don't worry about errors. So this is Finches. I think in the home page, that's gonna be index. Let's save this one and see. Reload the page. You see? That's fine. So our app is working, but do you think that our Finches link works or not? I don't think so. But let's try because we haven't added details page yet. And as you remember, in the index.html, for Finch in Finches, it takes the details from the details file, details HTML. So we haven't created yet, but let's try to see what's going on here. Yeah. So as you see, object Finch has no attribute object because we haven't defined it yet. We're going to define, and also I see another problem here. Okay, it says in the main app views that's by line 11 Finch object. I think I forgot an S here. Let's see. Yeah, that's true. Now it's fine. But anyway, it doesn't work. Even after this, it doesn't work because you see now it refers to the exactly this line. We haven't defined it yet. We need to create uh, our next page, which is details.html. So thank you for watching. This is for now, and today we have done a lot. We done uh, database, and we learn how to work with PostgreSQL. Of course, it's another story if you want to go deep inside the PostgreSQL, but at least we learn how to connect our Django app to PostgreSQL. We learn how to uh, mm, make a dynamic HTML inside our Django, and yeah, we learn how to make the models. So and next time we are going to complete our app and make it looks better and Thank you for watching.